If there is like one supplement that I get asked about the most on my weekly AMAs or in comment sections, it's creatine. And honestly, I probably avoided talking about it casually because there's just so much here to unpack, especially in the context of women's fitness, body composition, and overall health. So if you're a woman and you've ever considered adding creatine to your stack, you definitely need to watch this first. Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be chatting all things creatine for women, how it can enhance or affect your weight, body composition, mental health, and your reproductive life cycle. But also, at what cost? A quick note here that we are talking about body composition and fat loss today, so please feel free to skip this video if it's not supportive to your journey. And also, please note that I am using the term women for brevity here today, even though I acknowledge that the biological effects that I'm discussing could also apply to folks who do not identify as a woman. And a big thank you to the team at Unlocked Fitness for their expert support on this video. These are my preferred RDs for any weight loss or sports nutrition needs, so definitely check out their link below for one-on-one support. Also, don't forget to hit up my description for my free Hunger Crushing Combo ebook and subscribe if you are not already. Okay, first let me quickly hop in here to tell you about my sponsor, Lomi. So my family and I are really into gardening. My husband is definitely the green thumb in the family, but I love benefiting from it when I can just like walk outside my yard and it feels like my own little secret oasis. I feel like it's been a really important hands-on teaching tool for my kids. It's important to me that they understand where their food comes from and that they're already starting to think about ways to help support the environment. Taking care of our planet is one of our favorite things to talk about. I mean, my eldest is already quite the environmentalist. So when I heard about Lomi, I was really excited to add another step to our gardening lessons with our kids. Lomi is a countertop electrical composter that transforms food scraps and waste into soil in 4 hours. Not only has this significantly reduced the organics food waste that we're putting out for the garbage truck each week, but we get nutrient-dense soil for our garden and plants. My son told his camp counselor very proudly that he's been helping the earth get healthy after all the forest fires near home. And I don't know, that just, as a mom, that just makes me so proud. So if you're getting to gardening or trying to find little ways to cut back on your food waste, check out lomi.com/Abby in the description and use my promo code Abby to get $50 off of your Lomi. Okay, so a quick little overview here, folks. Creatine is a peptide made up of 3 amino acids: methionine, glycine, and arginine. Without getting too into like the nitty-gritty of what creatine actually does, just know that creatine can regenerate ADP or adenosine diphosphate into ATP or adenosine triphosphate. And ATP is our energy source at the cellular level. The human body produces approximately 1 gram of creatine per day. Women specifically biosynthesize a bit less, so around 0.8 grams per day. We also can get it from red meat and seafood, which amounts to about 1 to 2 grams per day. So for most omnivores, our creatine stores sit around 60 to 80% full. Women tend to fall on like the lower end of this range because they typically have diets lower in creatine than men. Ditto for vegetarians and vegans, whose stores generally only reach about 55 to 65% saturation. So the goal of creatine supplementation is to get these stores as close to 100% as possible to help improve strength and exercise performance. Now, the reason why I've been asked about creatine literally a million times is that it's not just another semi-bogus supplement. It is truly powerful stuff. Creatine is often referred to as the most effective ergogenic nutritional supplement for increasing high-intensity exercise capacity and lean body mass during exercise. And while men typically are bigger users than women, there are actually a unique number of benefits for women. So first, let's just quickly talk about its primary use, exercise performance, and by association, body composition. Because exercise improves workout performance and allows you to train with more intensity, it can induce greater adaptations to exercise by improving strength, power, and muscle size. All but one of the studies in this 2021 review of the literature that specifically tested the effects of creatine on women observed faster improvements in strength, exercise performance, and also sprinting time. Creatine can also significantly increase lean body mass mass in both advanced female athletes and folks who are relatively new to exercise, which could be incredibly encouraging for a lot of fitness newbies. It is important to note here that you can't just like take creatine and expect massive gains in lean body mass. Unless you are an older adult for whom we do see some improvements in strength even without exercise from creatine, you still do need to put in the work.
Get your ass up and work.
Now, when you hear significant increases in lean body mass, you probably are thinking about weight loss or fat loss. So let's talk about this because it's often the promise of fat loss that draws people into using supplements like creatine. Okay, folks, don't get at me here, but creatine does not result in fat or weight loss. In fact, it may actually make the number on the scale go up a little bit because the increase in lean mass includes both muscle and some water that it's stored with, both of which can increase the number on the scale. So of course, this is a really good time to remind everyone why said number is BS. Because if you're training harder and you're gaining muscle, you're gonna look a little bit leaner. So fat loss and weight loss is not a major benefit of creatine, but improved body composition can be. And speaking of unique benefits, there may also be some use for creatine supplements for blood sugar control. So creatine seems to increase the function of glucose transporter type 4, which then brings circulating glucose to the muscles and out of the blood. As a result, one 12-week study found that those who combined creatine with exercise improved their blood sugar control better than those who exercised alone. Now, this data is still very exploratory, but with the growing interest in blood sugar management right now, I do think it is some pretty exciting research to watch. Now, what I find fascinating and unique about creatine is that it not only improves physical performance and health, but also mental performance. So it turns out that creatine can give you both the brains and the brawn. So let's talk about women, creatine, and depression. So depression is about twice as prevalent in young women versus men, and there are many psychosocial reasons for this, but it may also be potentially linked to hormonal fluctuations of estrogen and progesterone. Researchers actually examined the role of altered creatine metabolism and depression and mood in adults, suggesting that low brain creatine levels may result in low dopamine and serotonin levels. As a result, research suggests that creatine may actually work similar to the powerful antidepressant ketamine in improving certain mood disorders. And since women are grossly underserved in mental health, and yet in cases of mood disorders are typically even more in need, this finding may be huge. So next, let's talk about brain function and cognition. Our brains require a lot of ATP to process difficult cognitive tasks. And guess what we do as women? We process all the difficult cognitive tasks, and usually all at once. Hashtag multitaskers for life. But one systematic review of the literature found that creatine supplementation did actually improve short-term memory, as well as intelligence and reasoning. This improvement is much more evident in vegetarians and vegans who tend to be more sensitive to supplementation than omnivores. But it's also been shown to improve recall and protect against neurological diseases in older adults. So yeah, in my opinion, this creatine has so much far-reaching potential as a nootropic for the general population than as an ergonomic drug for elite athletes. So we have established that creatine has a lot of unique and pretty substantial benefits for the body and for women in particular, but there are some really unique considerations for the female life cycle. So let's talk that time of the month. In folks with normal menstrual cycles, it's suggested that since protein turnover is greatest during the luteal phase of our cycle, aka right after ovulation and right before you get your period, creatine supplementation before your period may actually be particularly advantageous. Next, let's talk about pregnancy. So pregnancy is obviously a time of increased metabolic needs, and creatine levels actually tend to be lower during pregnancy than any other period in the adult lifespan. Now, low creatine levels during pregnancy have been associated with low birth weight and preterm birth, and while we have loads of rodent studies suggesting benefits, including reducing neuronal injury, seizures, and chronic kidney disease, we have no human trials evaluating the effects of creatine supplementation during pregnancy. And that's because it's often unethical to study pregnant women in a randomized control trial. There's currently no reason to believe that it would be unsafe, but it's important to know that studies like a large one that is underway right now publish their findings before recommendations can be safely made. Finally, let's talk post-menopause. As we age, creatine stores, muscle strength, and muscle mass tend to decline. Creatine's been shown to act as a countermeasure to these menopause-related declines and may also help to reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. And as I mentioned, unlike with younger women, older adults tend to see benefits from creatine supplementation even without any kind of intentional exercise. So now you know that there is a ton of benefits to creatine, but the question is, at what cost? Is this magical supplement even safe? Well, for the first time ever, yes. Individuals, both healthy and clinical populations, who have taken creatine for extended periods of time, aka up to 5 years, have not demonstrated any detrimental effects from its use. There could be some mild side effects like GI bloating or cramps or some water weight gain, but these are actually rare and a lot less common in women. In terms of dosing, the general guideline is a loading phase of 0.3 grams per kilogram per 5 to 7 days, or around 20 grams per day, and then a maintenance dose of 0.03 grams per kilogram, or about 5 grams daily. If you experience bloating or side effects, you can kind of skip the loading phase. It just might take a bit longer to see the desirable effects while training. Now, whether or not you need creatine supplements will really depend on your life stage and goals. But as always, I do recommend speaking to a dietitian like my friends at Unlocked Fitness for that one-on-one support. And on that note, my tiramisu overnight oats is looking damn good. Such a good post-workout snack. A great pairing with creatine, I might add. But if you guys like this video, be sure to give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment below if you have any more burning questions about creatine or any other nutrition questions that you want me to answer. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit up my description for my free hunger crushing combo ebook. And I'll see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye.